Well, my loves, where to even start? I thought that we could just sit down and have a little girl-to-girl chat about things that have been going on in my life. So obviously the last vlog that I uploaded was me and Emmanuel getting engaged, which was a bit of an unexpected turn to my let's go to the Lake District vlog. Obviously me and Emmanuel at the end of that vlog did kind of try and tie things together a little bit, but I thought it would be nice if like me and you have a little girls chat. And I did pop a Q&A box on my Instagram story archive. I always lose these when they go off the grid. Hang on, there we go. And I thought I'd just answer a few of your questions because I thought maybe you had a few more questions about what went on, plans, stuff like that. So I'm gonna skip through them. And when I say that you guys have questions to ask, I mean you guys have questions to ask. So I'm gonna start at the bottom and then just pick some random questions. I'm gonna try and get the most common questions, just because I feel like if they're most commonly asked, then maybe more of you want to know the answer. So the first one, actually, you're probably not going to like the answer to this, but the first question, which I got quite a lot, is how did he propose? You didn't mention in the vlog. So in terms of the actual proposal itself, we've actually just decided to keep that to ourselves. We it wasn't filmed at the time. Obviously I didn't know what was going on at the time, so there was no cameras out or anything. And yeah, we want to kind of keep it that way just because we want to have that memory just for us. Essentially, Emmanuel just started telling me these beautiful, beautiful things, started, you know, saying about things about our relationships and how much he loves me, and like I started to get like really like warm inside, but I still didn't know what was going on. Funnily enough, I was actually wearing his jacket at the time because I had that dress on with no jacket and it was absolutely freezing. So he gave me his jacket, which had the ring in the pocket. So when he was saying all these lovely things, I was just like smiling and, you know, it was just really, really nice. And then he was like, actually, I've got something for you. And then it was in his jacket pocket. So we went into the jacket pocket. And then when he brought the ring box out, that is when I realized, I was like, oh my God, this is happening. And he did get down on one knee and did the whole, you know, will you marry me? And like, I cried. I like literally started crying and I was like, I think I left him hanging for a little bit. I was like in total shock. Yeah, he got down on one knee, said, will you marry me? And I started crying and then obviously said yes. And yeah, it was just an absolute like whirlwind. And when I think back to it, it's like, it just makes me smile every time. And yeah, it was just so lovely. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened, but no, it wasn't caught on camera. And I'm glad that he didn't get the camera out and film it, because I'm just glad that we've got that memory just up here, the two of us, and that's it. So yeah, that's the answer. That's all you're getting for that one, I'm afraid. How do you feel being an engaged lady? Guys, it feels bizarre. Like, it feels so nice, but so bizarre that I've literally got the man of my dreams for the rest of my life. That's all I can think about at the minute, is that this is like, I never thought this would happen. And it sounds really sad, but you know, when you're single for so long, and I know that for a lot of those years that I was single, I was not interested at all in getting into a relationship or anything like that. I like actively stayed single through my own choice, and it just feels so bizarre now knowing that like I'm gonna get my happily ever after. It's a very lovely feeling. And I've got to say, when I take this ring off at night, because I do take the ring off to sleep, when I take it off, my hand feels so bare. It's so strange. Like when I take this off, like that's not my hand anymore. It just doesn't feel right. And having this ring on just feels so right. And oh yeah, it just feels amazing being engaged. And yeah, it's just lovely. Everyone's been so kind. All of your comments like have been just beautiful, beautiful comments from everyone. And yeah, thank you so much. And it's just been so nice. So a couple of you asked, did you suspect anything at all? So it's a strange thing because we had talked about the future and getting married one day, and Emmanuel had asked me how I would like to be proposed to and what kind of ring I would like. And funnily enough, when we went to go and get my watch resized, so they took a couple of links out on the watch that he got me for Valentine's Day. When we were in Beaverbrooks doing that, he asked the woman to measure my ring size, which I kind of thought, I was like laughing and I was like, oh, you know, but then he was like, you know, it's just for research for like in the future. So I knew that his intention was always there, but I just didn't know that was happening at that point. Like, I didn't know that weekend was going to be when it was happening. I didn't know that when we went out that was going to happen. I just didn't know that was what he was planning. I knew that it was going to happen at some point because he was making all those kind of signs of, you know, I want to be with you forever, but he didn't kind of indicate that he was going to do it now. So I kind of thought when he was getting my ring size and when he was, you know, asking me what type of diamond and things, I kind of thought he was doing that so that he had it in his head, so that in whenever he wanted to do it or whenever he felt was right, he would have that information already. So I just didn't realise that when he was asking me, it was going to be so soon. But then, come to think of it, it wasn't supposed to be it wasn't supposed to happen when it did. If you've watched the vlog, you'll know that trip to the Lake District was always going to happen, but I had kind of booked it. So it was a very like spur of the moment, last minute trip, but it was always going to happen, and it just landed the way it did, and it was just meant to be. So yeah, in terms of did I know, not a clue. Even when like the flowers and the Prosecco and then buying me a dress, it sounds so bougie, but this is just Emmanuel. Like, he is such a romantic guy that like stuff like that wouldn't make me think anything else, because he does that. He buys me flowers, he buys me nice things, and he's just a lovely, caring and considerate guy. And I just thought that this was another really romantic gesture from Emmanuel, and it turned out to be the most romantic gesture of all. So yeah, but looking back at the vlog and looking back at the weekend, I think, Jess, how on earth did you not like catch on? But no, I had no clue until that ring box came out of his pocket. I didn't have a clue. So will you be going to visit Emmanuel's family soon, or will they be coming here? So I am dying to go over and meet them. I met them over FaceTime like loads of times already, spoken to them, and they are absolutely lovely. And obviously we rang them when we got engaged and they were really happy, and I'm just dying to go and meet them. I would love to meet them before the wedding. But in terms of me going across to Nigeria, it's something that we need to plan, but it will be worth it. So I am really hopeful that I can go and meet everyone in person. Like I said, I've spoken to everyone over FaceTime, and so I do feel like I already kind of know them, but it would just be lovely to meet them face to face. So fingers crossed, we will be going across there sometime this year. I would just love to see like where he grew up, and just love to see the country and stuff. So hopefully, yes, I will be going to meet his family soon. Are you excited about getting married, and do you plan to show both cultures in the wedding? So without revealing too much, yes, obviously I'm excited to get married. I had to double read that, but in terms of planning to show both cultures, we are. We've kind of discussed different things, and I don't want to reveal too much because I want it to be a nice surprise, but we have thought of a few ways in which we can incorporate both cultures into the wedding, and I'm really excited for that part, and just really excited to be kind of learning more about the culture and to be getting more involved, and just, yeah. And I really do want to learn as much as possible about the culture and really kind of gen up on it, because I don't want to speak too soon, but there may be some, you know, babies on the way that I really want to have their culture to be a really big part of their life. So I think me getting all the information that I can and really learning about it will be beneficial for both of our futures and for any potential babies in the future. So yeah, we are going to try and incorporate part of both cultures in the wedding. Someone says, congratulations, will you be looking to get married in the UK or abroad? Will it be next year? So I think UK, we do want to get married in the UK, just so that obviously Emmanuel's family will be travelling over to come to the wedding. But in terms of everyone else, Emmanuel has loads of friends here, and All my family and friends are here, and we think it would be easier to do the wedding over here, just because I don't want to put that much pressure on all of the wedding guests having to fly across to another country. I know obviously that Emmanuel's parents and his brother and sister will have to be flying across, but you know, I kind of feel like it's, we do want a UK wedding anyway, so it will kind of be in the northeast area as well, so it'll be easily accessible for most people, and I would absolutely love for Emmanuel's family to stay for longer than just obviously the wedding. I'd love them to stay for a week or two, but that's all kind of stuff to be discussed. Nothing's set in stone yet, and yeah, I think that's kind of what we're thinking at the moment. But you know, we've been married. I'm sort of getting ahead of myself. We've been engaged for less than a week, so it's, you know, there's only so much that we can discuss in a week about what we plan to do for the wedding and how we plan to do it. But it is something that we've always had in mind, that we would like to get married in the UK and potentially go across to Nigeria and have, I believe, what's called a introduction ceremony, where I would be introduced to the family and do something over there. But that's again all something that we need to discuss and work out the plans for. So yeah, there's a lot more questions about like timescales and what year we'll be getting married. We don't know yet. It's just something that we need to think about in terms of obviously budget. I have been having a little look online just to kind of get a bit of an idea of how much we need to be budgeting and, you know, how much things are costing, because I haven't got a clue, essentially. Like, I don't know how much a venue costs. I don't know how much a wedding photographer costs. I don't know how much like a dress costs. So it's all stuff that I've been like kind of looking at, but we're just kind of getting the gist of how much we think we're going to be budgeting for. And yeah, so nothing's kind of set in stone in terms of dates, because once we kind of know what we're looking at budget wise, we can then kind of work out, okay, how long is it going to take us to save this kind of money, and then we can look at kind of booking things and setting dates. I've got quite a few questions about, will I be doing like a wedding planning series? And I would absolutely love to share my wedding plans with you guys, but I don't know how to do it yet, because I don't want to share all, because I want some things to be a surprise and I want some things to be kind of like kept to ourselves in some aspect. But I would love to do some wedding planning series and kind of showing you what's on my Pinterest board at the minute, because boy is that filling up at the minute. My Pinterest board, I have obviously a wedding board, and that is just getting longer and longer. I just keep it like, every time I open Pinterest now, it's all just wedding content, because that's all I'm looking at. So I'd love to share that kind of thing for you guys. And yeah, I don't know, we'll just see how it goes. What kind of content would you like to see in terms of wedding planning? Because I think in terms of like the dress itself, bridesmaids' colours, stuff like that, I don't know if it's something that I would want to share until the day, or whether, I don't know, I really don't know. So let me know what kind of thing that you would like to see in terms of wedding content and wedding planning and etc. And I'll have a think about what I will do. So yeah, I think that's pretty much all of the most common questions answered. So if you have any more questions, please leave them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them. But thank you so much for watching. Some exciting times ahead. I hope that you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, go hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.
Baby, let me love you, let me love you, let me love you, let me love you.